So, good morning. I'm just 10 minutes behind on everything this morning. I'm trying to cram too much into my schedule. Okay, so only solutions. That's the name of today's class, and the inspiration for that was I was thinking about John Lennon. I'm a huge Beatles and specifically John Lennon fan, and his birthday. He will, if he were alive, he would be 80 this Friday, October 9th. So that line, I tell them there's no problems, there's only solutions, from the song Watching the Wheels Go By. So I had a moment this morning where my daughter, she wanted to wear her school spirit shirt because it's school spirit day, but it's a short sleeve shirt and she was cold and she's like, I want to wear this shirt, but I want to be warm. And I was like, you could wear a long sleeve shirt underneath it. You could wear a jacket, lots of things where you could still see the Koala Nation insignia and be warm. And I said, there are many solutions to your problem. And you just have to pick a solution. They're not, there's not a right solution. So just pick the solution and go with it. So I thought, often I tell my kids things that I need to hear, so that was something that I felt like I needed to hear this morning. The idea that there are lots of solutions, and perhaps there are only solutions. Okay, I was trying to figure out something on my phone, but I just don't have it in my patience right now to do that. So probably a good sign that we could practice some yoga right now. I don't know if you can tell, I've got some little spots of light on my mat here. It's like the perfect angle that the sun is coming in and hitting my mirror ball and making these beautiful little reflections on the floor. So let's begin our practice by coming to a comfortable seated position. So get yourself set up. I need to go to the bathroom. I apologize for all the delays this morning. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm here. So thank you for sticking around. Come to a comfortable seated position and determine exactly what seated position you would like to take this morning. A shape that feels comfortable, supported, sustainable. And then as you find that shape, close your eyes. Invite yourself here into this space, into this time, into this moment. Begin to orient yourself by listening for the sounds in the world around you, noticing the temperature on your skin. Perhaps you can feel air moving around you. You might be curious about where you are feeling most sensitive. So where are you experiencing a breeze or cool or warm air? Then begin to notice the sensations within your body. Do you feel areas of soreness or discomfort? You might feel your pulse in certain areas. You might even feel your heart beating in your chest. Perhaps you feel digestion happening, where you can sense your breakfast in your body. Turn your awareness to your breath, this constant interplay of the internal and the external. Slow and deepen your breath as you breathe in and out through your nostrils. You might make some subtle movements here to encourage more length in the spine, more openness in the heart space, fullness in the lungs. Maybe you lift the shoulders towards the ears, lengthening the sides of the body, lifting into the armpit chest before looping the shoulder blades together behind the heart, contracting the muscles of the upper back to open and lift the chest. Tilt the chin down parallel to the floor, lengthen along the back of your neck as you lift through the crown of the head. Maybe a gentle tone to the upper abdomen, lower ribs drawing in and back, tailbone lengthening down, legs heavy, sits bones rooted. Back to the breath. Notice if these adjustments to the position have allowed more capacity for breath. You might transition to the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, the triumphant uprising breath, by drawing a gentle contraction in at the back of your throat. Listen for the sound of your breathing. And consider that the this vibration being caused at the back of your throat is creating a vibration within your body, being expressed as sound into the world around you, and contributing to the symphony of sounds of this moment. Part of the symphony of sounds might be a lawnmower, the sound of your computer battery, Sounds of a fan. Please bring your palms together in front of your heart. Press your palms in, widen your elbows out, broaden across the heart space. We'll chant Om 3 times before beginning the moving practice. Exhale the breath and inhale for Om. Bow your head to your heart, release your palms to your thighs, then slowly lift your head as you open your eyes. Okay, you might switch the cross of your legs or place the opposite ankle in front. Inhale, sweep your arms overhead, reach up, maybe look up as your palms touch. Exhale, bring the hands down through heart center and back to the sides of your body. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, gather space, sweep up, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands come down through the heart center and arms to your sides. Again, inhale, move with the breath, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands together and by your sides. Again, inhale to lift. This time, exhale, keep the legs and hips as they are as you revolve your chest towards the left. Right hand might land at the left thigh, left hand behind, perhaps on the floor or grabbing some padding. Inhale, grow tall along the spine. Exhale, revolve. Breathe into the shape and let time and attention shape and expand the pose. And the expansion of the pose might not be this deepening of what, might not mean that you look further back or you revolve the spine anymore. The deepening might just be the depth that you delve into this moment, delve into the experience of your body, of this moment in this shape. Let's keep the right hand as it is. Left arm reaches along the left ear. Reach out through the fingertips. Inhale here, and then exhale, lean at an angle over the right thigh. So assuming here, with the instruction, that you're in some form of a cross-legged seat, but this could very well be done in a rock pose or a hero pose, just keeping the hips grounded, whatever shape you're in, and leaning the upper body to create that extension of the side body. So I'm just, I'm targeting the left side body, trying to create awareness and expansion along the shoulder, between the ribs, down the side of the waist, down through the outer hip, all the while breathing. Inhale, let's come back to center, unwind. Exhale here. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And then exhale, revolve to the right. Right hand can land on the left thigh, right hand can be behind on the floor, or possibly grabbing the padding on which you're seated. Inhale, grow tall, and exhale to revolve. Collarbones stay broad. You might eventually explore the revolution in the neck by looking towards the back wall, maybe even attempting to look over the right shoulder. Soften the expression on your face. And again, let the pose evolve, let the pose deepen with time, attention, and breath. Left hand stays on the right thigh, right arm reaches to the sky. Inhale here, and exhale, lean towards the left, perhaps in the angle of the left thigh if you're in a cross-legged position. Use the left hand to draw the left shoulder forward, revolve the right ribs back. Again, come back to breath in the shape. Awareness along the right side body. So what is coming up, what is being presented as you move your body into these different shapes? And my idea today is to arrive in each moment, arrive in the pose with this idea that there are no problems, only solutions. So for me, that's an acceptance of where we are and an intention moving forward. Inhale, come back to center, release the arms down, and let's stand up today. I've been doing a lot of practice on the ground, and I'm ready to stand up for a while. Okay, so let's start with the feet hip width distance apart. Recognize the connection between your body and the floor through the soles of your feet. So create a wide base by lifting and spreading the toes, placing them back down, plugging into the earth as though growing roots. Tone the muscles up your legs. So I have this concept of Janu Bandha that I like to bring to the practice, the knee lock. So knees are drawing in and up as though you're pulling tight stockings up the legs. Lengthen down, lift up out of the waistline, roll the shoulders back, palms turn forward, collarbones broaden, chin parallel to the earth, lengthen through the crown of the head, and become your mountain. Just take a few moments to, you might, in your mind's eye, visualize a mountain. Consider the qualities of a mountain, or just a general feeling, a sense of what a mountain is. Embody those qualities in this moment, in this shape. With your next inhale, let the arms float overhead. Look up as your palms touch. And then as you exhale next, gently bend your knees as you make your way forward. Fingertips can land on the floor, or you can bring the floor closer with the use of a block or blocks underneath the fingertips. Push the feet down, lift the hips up, lengthen the crown of the head towards the earth, awakening the back of the body. So notice what's being turned on here. Let your mind survey the body. What's coming up? Where are you feeling? What are you feeling in this shape? And then let's come to a waterfall or ragdoll pose by bending the knees, resting the torso on the thighs, and letting the upper body hang forward. You might take hold of opposite wrists, forearms, or biceps. You might sway the upper body from side to side. Subtle movement helping you to assess areas of soreness or areas you might feel that are, hard or constricted. And by identifying those areas, is it possible to start to surrender, to let go, ungrip? Eventually find relative stillness in this shape. You might explore the body with breath and with this concept of moving energy through the body. So as you inhale, you might think about energy pulling up from the earth, up through the legs, pooling in the hips, and then as you exhale, that energy cascading down the length of the spine, releasing through the elbows, out and down through the crown of the head. Oh my gosh, I just thought of something that we haven't done in a very long time. Don't be scared by my maniacal laugh. Okay, fingertips back to the floor. Push your feet down, lift your hips up, and then lengthen the crown of the head downward once again. So I think about this aftermath of the waterfall, bringing all of that release and now adding to it extension. So now the back of the legs might be longer, the hips might be lifted higher, the crown of the head might be melted more deeply towards the earth. Then from here, keep the legs and hips as they are, fingertips to the shins, lift up halfway, shoulders away from the ears, heart forward. Exhale and fold in, head down, fingertips down, hips stay high. 2 more times. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold in. Inhale, lift halfway with the breath. And exhale, flow forward, head down, hands down, hips high. With the next breath, come all the way back up to standing, push down, reach up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms back to your sides, back to the mountain. Inhale, sweep the arms up. And exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, release forward. Inhale to come up, reach up, look up, palms touch. Exhale, hands through heart center and arms to your sides. Okay, one more time, half Surya Namaskar, sun salutation with your own breath. Okay, meet back in mountain, and then we're going to find some wall space. This is one of the beauties of home practices. At least I hope it is. I hope you have some wall space where you can stand against the wall without knocking something down. So find a little wall space to stand against. And then this is the thing we haven't done in a while, wall sits. So sit your hips to the wall and then slide your hips down. Push your back body into the wall. Feet are hip width distance apart, knees are over the ankles. Arms can be on your thighs for support or by your sides, shoulders rolling back. Or you can take your arms out in front of you. And notice the weight in your feet. Notice how you're distributing weight into the wall. Try to get the lower ribs gently in and back. Maybe the tailbone lengthens slightly. Gaze forward, chin parallel to the earth. Back of the neck long. Notice facial expression. Perhaps attempt to soften there. Whoa, I can tell I haven't done this in a while because my thighs are already shaking. Let's hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Push yourself back up the wall. Let's maybe stand back to the wall with the feet hip width distance. Again, mountain pose now against the wall. So just notice what's touching the wall, what's not touching the wall. Shoulders back, heart open. What is it to bring the back of your head to the wall? Now let's do our side bending at the wall. So if you don't have this unobstructed wall space, you could just be doing these things without the wall. Let's take the arms overhead. Inhale to grow tall, and exhale, lean the upper body to the left, hips shift to the right. Tone the muscles of the legs, lift Janu Bandha. Back of both shoulders against the wall. Likely the left hip is coming against the wall. So if it takes you back a little bit out of the pose to bring the right shoulder and the left hip to the wall, so be it. And then from here, you might turn the gaze up to the ceiling. So palms can be pressing together, or you can grab the right wrist with the left hand. Or if this is painful for the low back, you can even bring the left hand to the hip. Come back to breath. And an inhale to come back to center. Release the arms down. Let's do some rolling of the shoulders forward and back. Okay. I have not practiced this against a wall, maybe ever, but I'm finding it interesting in this moment because it does give you that reference of are your shoulders and hips squared forward? Are they in that same plane? Okay, arms overhead with an inhale. Either hands together or grab the left wrist with the right hand. Inhale to grow tall and exhale, lean right. Hips shift left. Kneecaps lift. Push the feet to the floor. Remember to breathe. Again, it might mean that you're not leaning over as far as you usually do to try to keep that alignment. The hips and shoulders on the same plane of the wall. Okay, turn the gaze up. And inhale to come back to center. Release the arms to your sides, and again, let's roll the shoulders. Forward a few times, and then back a few times. Now that we're using this wall, I'm like, let's use the wall. So I hope you have a wall, because we're gonna continue to use it. And our next pose that we're gonna do against the wall is that halfway lifted position. And this pose is akin to a lot of shapes that we pull in yoga class. So bring your mat maybe 3 feet from the wall, as I have done. And then you're going to stand on your sticky mat with your feet hip-width distance apart. Look at the wall in front of you. You might need to adjust as you come down. You're going to bring your hands to the wall, palms against the wall, and your hands are going to be shoulder-width distance apart. Push your feet down, lift your kneecaps up, push your thigh bones away from the wall. Your inner thighs extend away from the wall. So the heels of your hands, try to attempt to get them to the height of your shoulders. If you can look in a mirror or in a monitor, that can be helpful for this shape. I can do it over here too, so you can see this might be more helpful for you if you're wondering what this should look like. Wondering what the general alignment of this is. Okay, so my feet are hip-width distance. My thighs are pushing back, my kneecaps are lifted. You might look between your hands. Push your hands into the wall. Draw your shoulders away from your ears as you lift your outer armpits away from the floor. Attempt some connection with the upper abdomen, lower ribs, in and back, tailbone lengthens back. So you can think about this shape in some ways it's pretty similar to down dog, as being an awareness of the back body, an opening of the back body. You could also flip this around so that your hands are on the floor, your feet are on the wall, and it's that L at the wall shape that we practice as a preparatory pose for handstand. Let's walk our way back up the wall. Come to standing. Let's neutralize the spine with a mountain pose. Lengthen down through the tailbone, lift through the front of the pelvis. Shoulders curl back, palms face forward. Again, inhale, arms overhead. Exhale and flow forward. Head down, hips high. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, flow forward. Again, inhale to rise. And exhale, hands back through heart center and arms to your sides. It's like a palate cleanser, that half Surya Namaskar A. So now we'll come to a tree pose, Vrikshasana. Let's stand on the left foot. So create a wide base with the left foot by spreading the toes. Root down like a tree. Turn your right knee, right toes out, keeping the front of the pelvis squared forward. I wonder if this might also be interesting against the wall. So you not only have the wall to keep your hips and chest squared forward, but you also have the wall to help you balance. Okay, right foot comes to the inside of the left thigh. Push the hip and the thigh and foot into one another. Widen out through the right inner thigh. Lift into the left kneecap, push down through the left foot. Arms can come back to the wall. Back of the head, back of the shoulders to the wall if you're using it. Again, all of these poses can be done without the use of the wall. Arms overhead. You can interlace the fingers, turn the palms skyward, or palms together, or widen your branches out. For today, so if you're using the wall, it would make this a little easier to explore. So you could grab the left wrist with the right hand, and then lean. Do that same crescentine shape over to the right. Pushing down through the left foot, lifting into the left kneecap. Maybe even turning the gaze up. So approach these shapes with curiosity, especially if you're doing them in a new way. You can lean to the opposite side. Gaze might go up. And eventually meet back through center and approach tree on the second side. So you might find your invisible hula hoop. Mine was over there. Put it on. Give it a couple of whirls. Really picture your hula hoop. What does your hula hoop look like? Maybe it's purple with sparkly gold polka dots. That's what mine looks like. Other direction. It reminds me, my younger daughter, it's like, she's like, oh, I like this person. So like basically any person wearing purple, she likes them. Okay, throw your hula hoop off to the side and let's do the second side. Ground down through the feet, and this time we're going to stand on the right foot. So turn your left knee, left toes out, place your left foot to the inside of your calf or thigh. And then if you're using the wall, hips back to the wall or butt cheeks back to the wall. I didn't mean to say that. I said it yesterday as a joke with practicing with friends, and then I was like, I don't really say butt cheeks when I'm teaching, but now I guess I do say it. Okay, shoulders back to the wall. Maybe hands at heart center, arms to your sides. Maybe arms float overhead. Okay, so establish your tree. Growing into the earth, growing into the sky. Left hand grabs right wrist, possibly. Take that crescent shape over to the left. Take the gaze up, perhaps. Come back to center. Grab the left wrist, right hand. Lean right. Maybe gaze goes up. Inhale back to center and release your arms down, release your foot down. Okay, go, if you threw your hula hoop over there, you gotta go get it. Okay, get your hula hoop. Are you guys getting your hula hoops? I hope you are. Strap them on, strap on the hula hoop, spin it around. Make sure it's not hitting your arms, because you have your arms down here, it's not gonna work. It's just gonna hit your arms and fall on the floor. That's an important thing to remember when invisible hula hooping. Grab it, send it the other direction. Soft knees, soft ankles. Okay, grab it. I think that's it for now, so throw it out. You can throw it as far as you want to. Okay, don't break anything. Come back onto the wall, into your wall sit. Okay, let's not go down as far this time, so kind of a half wall sit. Then we're gonna take the left leg, cross the left leg over the right leg, like a dude sitting in a chair. That's what, I don't know who used to say that. I don't think a lot of people said that. Much like a figure four or a pigeon leg. So keep the foot flexed, widen the left knee out, keep the hips at the wall and at an even height. If you'd like, go deeper with the bend, pushing the hips, pushing the shoulders into the wall, and come back up. I want to hula hoop again. Okay, left foot to the floor, right ankle on the left thigh. So figure four leg, slowly sink the hips down. Hips at an even height, shoulders on the wall. Try to not discolor the left toes. Try to bring weight back to the left heel. Right foot flexed, ankle straight. straight. And then slide back up. Okay, one more time. Right foot grounds, left ankle bends, sink the hips down, hips at the wall, left knee out, left foot flexed, ankle over the thigh. And then we're going to lean forward. Oh my gosh, that feels cool. Cool would be one way to describe it, right? Maybe not. Okay, so just lean forward a little or a lot, keeping the hips pushing into the wall. Trying not to discolor the left toes. Weight in the left heel, or right heel if you can manage. Okay, there are no problems, only solutions. So if this shape doesn't work for you, find a modification that does. So maybe the wall isn't working for you, and you're just bringing the hips away from the wall and leaning forward. Did we just stand on the right foot? Yes, we did. Left foot. Right ankle crosses. I'll let you in on this. Is my thinking today is a little bit experimental. Once I got this idea to use the wall, I really got excited about it. Okay, so melt the hips down. Keep the hips at the wall. Lean forward. So if you're feeling any tweakiness in the right knee, then I would recommend not doing this. Finding somewhere else to explore and practice. Maybe you're going to come down into a figure four pose, or you can do the same thing, kind of seated on the floor, drawing the chest to the shin. Okay, come back up as you're ready. Unwind carefully, and then we will come away from the wall back to our mats, and we'll do a little more palate cleansing, this time in the form of C salutations. So come to the top of your mat, feet can be together, hip width distance apart. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, float forward, fingertips to the floor. Inhale, fingertips to the shins. Exhale, sink your hips down into your imaginary chair. Inhale, arms forward like you're holding a box, half chair. Exhale, melt the hips down, swing the legs overhead. Inhale, momentum coming forward, half chair. Exhale, hips high, head low. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale, to the mountain. Again with the breath. Inhale, flow the arms overhead. Exhale, forward and down. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, sink the hips. Inhale, arms forward, waistline back. Exhale, sink the hips, sweep the legs overhead. Inhale, momentum coming forward, balance. Exhale, fold, hips high, head low. Inhale, rise to stand, one more. Exhale, hands through heart center, back to the mountain. Inhale, sweep up, look up, reach up. Exhale, flow forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, sink the hips. Inhale, sweep the arms forward. Exhale, lower the hips down, legs overhead. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands through heart center, arms to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, float the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Listen as you exhale, lunge your right foot back. Inhale here. Exhale here. Inhale, plank position, possibly coming to your knees. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, and chin to the floor. Inhale, slide forward, curl up, cobra pose. Exhale, lower down, tuck the toes, press the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Get acquainted with your dog. 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. I think last breath. Inhale. And exhale. Next breath in. Lift the right leg straight up and back. Three-legged dog. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale and lunge your right foot forward. Inhale in the lunge. Exhale in the lunge. Inhale, send the right leg back. Plank position. Exhale, lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, curl up, cobra pose or upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. 5 breaths in. Out. In. Out. Breath in. Breath out. Breath in. Breath out. Last breath in. And exhale fully. Inhale, left leg lift straight up and back, three-legged dog. Look to the top of your mat. Exhale, lunge your left foot between your hands. Inhale in your lunge. Exhale in your lunge. Inhale to plank. Exhale, lower down, method of your choice, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, curl up, open up, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Hands press down and forward, hips shift up and back, kneecaps lift, heels lengthen down. Return to your breath. I think we're a little uneven, so I think what we need to do is lunge the right foot forward. Inhale in your lunge. And exhale to fold forward at the top of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway, fingertips to the shins, shoulder blades on the back. Exhale and fold in, hands down, head down. Inhale to rise, look up, reach up, palms touch, and exhale, hands through heart center and arms back to your sides. Okay, we're gonna do our wide-legged forward folds. So have your blocks handy on the mat or on the floor in front of you, mat blocks or blankets. Let's start with our goddess pose. So take your knees, take your feet about 2.5 to 3 feet apart. As I always say, and as I always do, you can adjust your foot position as you come down into this. But make sure as your feet angle out at about a 45-degree angle that your knees are gonna bend in the same direction that your toes are pointing. Lift up through the spine, lengthen down through your tailbone. And as you exhale next, begin to bend your knees in the direction of your toes. And this is where you can adjust your feet so that your bent knees are directly over your heels. Extend through the inner thighs, contract through the outer hips, lengthen down through the tailbone, tall spine. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. And exhale, left arm underneath your right. Eagle arms, palms together or grab shoulders. Elbows lift, forearms away from the face. Hips sink, weight in the heels, upper body back. Soft gaze, soft mouth, relaxed jaw, deep, slow breath. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly straighten the legs. Sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, right arm underneath the left. And melt the hips down once again. Weight in the heels. Extension through the inner thighs. Length down through the tailbone. Lift through the elbows. Forearms away from the face. Soft gaze. Hips low. Head high. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the legs. Unwrap the arms. Sweep the arms up. Exhale one more time. Down into the hips. Upper body back. Lower ribs in and back. Tailbone down. Gaze forward. Face soft. For 5, 4, 3, 2, And one, straighten the legs, reach the arms up, and exhale, arms down. Heel toe the feet back together. Okay, invisible hula hoop. Somebody handed it to me. My invisible friend handed it to me this time, so I didn't have to go get it. Okay, getting nutty today. Grab your hula hoop, send it in the other direction. I don't know what we're doing today that's making me more out of breath than doing push-ups. Okay, grab your hula hoop, pass it back to your imaginary friend, thank you. Okay, take your feet wide apart for our wide-legged forward fold. So I like to line up my heels with the back edge of my mat. That way I have the reference point as to know where my heels are. Outer edges of your feet lined up with the short ends of your mat. Tone the muscles of your legs. Lift Janu Bandha, kneecaps in and up, tailbone down. Hands on the hips, elbows to the back wall, collarbones broad. Maybe look up, lift and lengthen through the front of your chest, the front of your throat. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, bring your chin and chest parallel to the floor and plant your wrists below your shoulders. Thigh bones back, chin and chest forward. Once again, lengthen the front of the torso. And then exhale, fold in. Hands can walk back. You can keep hands and wrists and elbows shoulder width distance apart as you walk them back. You have that reference point of the mat, back of the mat, so the heels of the hands can come to that line if possible, or your hands can come back to behind the mat as your head lengthens down towards the floor and finds a place to land. Maybe it's a block, maybe it's a whole stack of blocks, a skyscraper of blocks, maybe it's a blanket. Try to find the right combination to get your head to a place where the connection is somewhat tenuous, so that as you exhale, you can feel the pressure of your head into the block. As you inhale, you might feel your head lighten away from the block slightly. And now take some time to arrive in this shape. So survey the body with the breath, using this concept that you use the prana, the pranayama, the breath, to move energy throughout the body. So you might start that process by identifying sensation, noticing where and what you're feeling. And then approach the experience of this shape, of this moment, with that idea that there are no problems, only solutions. So again, I equate that to coming to this moment with acceptance and curiosity, and from there finding a way forward. That there are many solutions, many ways to go. So if you'd like to float up into a tripod headstand from this shape, go for it. You might also adjust your pose according to your changing experience. So you might feel that things have started to open up with your attention and your pranayama. So maybe that means your head moves to a lower prop. Maybe that means your feet move closer together. So there's room for change. There better be, because change is coming. Change is coming whether there's room for it or not. Okay, walk the hands back below the shoulders. And the feet closer together if the legs are feeling strained, or just take a break from this position for a moment before we do the next thing. So we're going to keep the legs as they are, or come back to the legs as they were, and then bring the right hand to the outside of the left leg or ankle and start to revolve the right ribs towards the left inner thigh. Push down through the right foot, lift into the right kneecap, push the right thigh gently back. And then you can either choose to stay here or reach the left arm up and even wrap the left arm to left hand to the top of the right thigh. So hugging the left shoulder blade onto the back of the chest. So this is with the hand position, it's a little bit of a revolved shape, but in a different way than we often practice this in my classes. And come back through center. Reach for the outside of the right leg with the left hand. Wrap the left ribs towards the right inner thigh. Maybe look up under the right armpit. Keep the left leg engaged, left foot grounding down. And then maybe right arm reaches up, bend the right elbow, reach for the top of the left thigh with the right hand. Right shoulder hugs to the back of the chest. And then unwind. Hands back below the shoulders, hands to the hips, elbows to the sky, draw back through the sides of the waistline, come on up. Heel toe the feet back in. Feet hip width distance. Kick your butt. And have your imaginary friend bring you your hula hoop. Acknowledge your imaginary friend's help, thank you. And then bring the hula hoop down around your body. One more time. Oh my gosh, this is just the hula hoopingest class I've ever taught. Okay, and take it other direction. Okay, grab that hula hoop. Thank you, friend. I appreciate your assistance. Whew, okay. So, since we didn't do push-ups today, your arms should be nice and preserved for our L at the wall practice. So as I said, what we did before at the wall was just like L at the wall, except our feet were on the floor and our hands were on the wall. Now we're going to bring our feet to the wall and our hands to the floor. So this, as I said, is preparation for a handstand. So we're going to start with L at the wall. And then we'll try our kick-ups. Did that just make it worse? Yeah, I think I need to go this way. Further? Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Okay, so you can see me. I'll be here. The first thing for L at the wall is to measure the distance of your legs from the wall. So feet on the wall, legs extended straight. Take your hands to frame your hips so that your hands are the length of your legs from the wall. Now I'm going to take my left hand where my right hand was, and take my right hand where my left hand was, so I'm at a kind of a short, or about a tabletop position between my hands and the wall. Toes tucked under, and looking between my hands, I'm going to push my hips up and back. So now I'm looking at my hands, trying to root through the knuckles of my fingers so that all the weight of my body is not being bared in my wrists. So try to get some of that pressure out of the wrists. Push down into the hands, shoulders away from the ears, gaze between the hands, and then start to walk the feet up the wall. So this is a great pose to do in classes, in person, because it's really hard to see what your body looks like in this shape, where often people bring their feet up too high and it's more of a plank against the wall than a L at the wall. Lower ribs in and back, push the thigh bones up, ground through the knuckles, arms straight and strong. And then as you're ready, come on down. So take a moment in a child's pose. Sink your hips to your heels, extend your arms forward, forehead down, forearms down. Arrive in this moment and let the resonance of that your effort of that shape be recognized in this moment. So what and where are you feeling as a result of that effort? Slow and deepen your breath. And then walk your way back up into a rock pose. So seated on the heels. Okay, so you can either continue to practice L at the wall, which is a very helpful pose for establishing strength and confidence to kick up to the wall. So if you did not feel that your arms were supportive in that shape, then you might continue to work on that shape to strengthen the arms. And if that shape was inaccessible, you could even just hold downward facing dog and try for longer and longer holds of down dog to build up the strength to get to L at the wall. So the next offering is going to be some handstands. So I'll try to give you some options for this. So you might start, maybe I'm about 10 inches from the wall. So I'm facing the wall, hands are shoulder width distance apart, hands are turned out somewhat. So either the space between your peace fingers are pointed straight ahead like this, or you could even turn your hands out so the space between your index finger and thumb are pointed forward. Experiment with both, see what works for you. Again, get that resolve to shift weight out of your wrist by pushing down through the knuckles of the fingers, especially the index finger knuckle and maybe even the thumb knuckle, which I'm realizing I don't have as much connection to there. So, okay, gaze between the hands, lift up into your down dog, shoulders away from the ears, strong, straight arms without overextending the elbows. So some people have very flexible elbows and their elbows can come in and lock out. So keep a gentle bend in your elbows if you know that to be the case for you. Look between your hands. Start to walk forward, hips lifting high. Push down through the knuckles. Keep the gaze steady. Lift the left leg up like you're doing three-legged dog, and then jump, hop, hop with the right foot, kick with the left leg. Few times, keeping the arms steady, gaze between the hands. If you kick too hard, that's what the wall is there for. If you kick too hard, you come up into a handstand. Okay, maybe spend a moment in handstand, pushing down through the knuckles, lengthening up through the tailbone, squeeze the legs. Balance for a moment? Question mark? Okay, come on back down. Give the arms a rest before we do the second side. Back to a child's pose. Thinking in my practice in my life how as I age, I really am learning to value breaks, taking a break. Just even 30 seconds to reorient, to breathe, to maybe use this mantra of no problems, only solutions. Okay, let's attempt the second leg. You can take your left foot slightly towards center as you lift the right leg up into a short down dog. Look between the hands, ground through the knuckles, and then hop. So kicking with the right leg, hopping with the left foot, and it might just be getting, an inch or two of air. And then as you gain confidence in the strength of your arms, strength of your upper body, maybe you kick all the way to the wall. Find that moment of balance. Then as you're ready, come on down, back to child's pose, resting, reflecting, reorienting, finding acceptance in the experience, acceptance for the experience. Sweep the arms back, let the shoulders fall forward, palms turn up. And roll up through the spine and come up into a kneeling position. So we're going to take a lot of options, a lot of solutions to our back bend this morning. So I had a couple of students who were having abdominal issues and low back issues in my class yesterday, and I thought, you can stretch and open the heart without going into a full camel pose. So what we did yesterday, which I felt like I could just hold forever and felt so nice, was just to take the hands to the back of the skull, interlace the fingers, cup the base of the skull with the thumbs, widen the elbows out to either side of the room, hug the shoulder blades together behind the heart. So we'll start our back bending exploration. We'll all start here. You can have the toes tucked under or the feet top of the feet pressed flat, toes pointing back. Then you might start to tilt the gaze up, lean the head back into the hands, and focus on your breath here. So as you inhale, you might use that imagery of a balloon expanding, filling with breath, the balloon filling with helium. And then as you exhale, the lightness of your heart, the lightness of that balloon, lifting skyward, opening and releasing. As you're ready, bring the head forward, elbows forward, arms down, knees together, hips to the heels, palms on the thighs. Neutralizing your rock pose. Again, let the effort of that shape resound in this moment. Rest, reorient, reconnect with breath. And we'll do that one more time. And if you choose, you can Do the hands behind the head, maybe the opposite or the other interlace of your fingers. Ground through the knees, lengthen through the tailbone, lift through the front of the hip points. Widen the elbows back, lift the heart up, tilt the gaze up. Either choose to stay with this support for the head, this attention to the upper body, or if you'd like, you can bring your hands first to the hips as you curl back in the upper body, shifting the weight of the upper body back, pushing down through the knees, push down through the shins and feet, and perhaps make your way to camel pose. Hands can come to the heels or ankles, fingers to the insides of the heels, thumbs to the outside, and then do you like to release the head back or keep it suspended? I'm chalking that up to personal preference, and your preference might change over time. As you're ready, hands to hips, hips forward, chest forward, head comes up last. Find your way back to the neutralizing rock pose. And I have this thought of these neutralizing poses like rock and mountain as being, as we would think of a rock or a mountain as a non-sentient entity. So think about that as you're becoming part of the earth, part of nature, kind of entering again this this meditation on the oneness, the connectivity of you and everything around you. That's kind of a neutralizing, resting, reconnecting space and shape. I've found myself very attracted to these shapes in my practice over the past year. Okay, from here we're going to move into our rabbit pose. So let's start by hinging forward at the hips, taking the arms forward, transitioning through a child's pose. Reach the arms forward, release the forehead down, keep the hips sunk towards the heels before sweeping the arms back, reaching around for the outsides of the ankles, wrapping the fingers to the insides of the heels. And then slowly lifting the hips, wrapping the chin to the chest, forehead towards the knees as hips lift high into the air. You might notice that the arms are being pulled taut here, shoulder blades being drawn apart. Pull the belly button in towards the spine and breathe. Slowly lower hips down. Push your way back up to the neutralizing rock. Shoulders down the back, head over heart, heart over the center of the pelvis. Return to breath. Let's do that one more time. Fold forward, hinge at the hips. Reach the arms forward, child's pose. Wrap the arms back. Grab from the outsides of the feet, wrap the fingers to the insides of the heels. Push the
shins down, tuck the chin to the chest, forehead towards or to the knees. Lift the hips high, pull your belly button in towards your spine as you come into a rabbit shape. I didn't get any feedback on why people thought this was called rabbit pose. Is it the shape? Is it the feeling? Now with my assessment of rock and mountain being these kind of non-sentient forms, now this is the rabbit. This is a fast mover. But also, with those big ears, really can sense a lot of vibration, a lot of sound from all directions. Hips down, push your way back up, shoulder blades down the back, back to the rock. And we will take a couple seated poses before really slowing down. So you might bring some padding underneath your hips, as I often instruct. You want the lower back to lift and lengthen. So if you're sitting on the floor and your tailbone is tucked and your lower spine is rounded, it's really helpful to get the pelvis seated on the edge of some height so that the front of the pelvis tilts forward and the back of the pelvis tilts up to become an upright bowl shape. Okay, so lifting up out of the bowl of the pelvis, tall through the spine, staff position, shoulders back. Now from here, we're going to take the legs wide. Angle the chest over the left leg, press the thigh bones down, and then take the right hand to the outside of the left leg and revolve the right ribs towards the left inner thigh. So this is familiar, is it not? This is what we did in our, after we did the wide-legged forward fold, we moved the chest towards the left leg. So to keeping with what we did earlier, you can wrap the left hand behind, try to grab the upper thigh or the front of the hip, pull that shoulder back, reach the chin and chest over the left leg, and maybe reach the head down or look up towards the ceiling. Just experimenting with shapes. And come back up and orient to the right. Left thigh grounds, extension out through the feet, wrap the left ribs towards the right leg. Take the left hand to the outside of the leg, ankle or foot to revolve the left ribs towards the right inner thigh. Keep the left thigh pushing down. Maybe experiment with the right arm going back and grabbing the left hip. I experimented with that, and to be honest, didn't do much for me. I didn't like it. But yeah, so I had a conversation with someone earlier who'd come to my class, and one of those days we did push-ups, which I didn't end up doing push-ups today. But she said, "But push-ups aren't yoga." And I said, well, we're all part of the evolution of yoga. So yoga, I think it's very important that we know, we question what we're learning, but we also have reverence for the work and the exploration of teachers from the past, from the recent past and the distant past. But this is an exploration. We're exploring our experience, and our experience is new, is it not? So yeah. So who cares if you put your arm behind your back and that's not a real yoga pose? That's my That's my POV. Okay, come back up as you're ready. Come back to a neutral spine, and you can either do your forward fold from here, folding between the thighs, or if you prefer to take the legs together and fold forward, do so. I'd like to take my legs together. So fold forward, keeping the sits bones grounded, the thighs grounded, pushing out through the soles of the feet. Find a place perhaps to rest your head, possibly on a block or a blanket or a series of props, maybe on the legs, maybe on the earth. Reorient in this moment with the body, with your breath. Grab the legs, ankles or feet. Draw the chest forward, curl the gaze up, little back bend in the upper back. And then walk your way back up to seated and come to lie on your back. Take your arms out to either side of the room. Take your feet as wide as your mat, and then slowly start to shift the knees side to side, perhaps synchronizing movement with breath, letting the low back massage against the floor. And from here, draw the knees in and up towards the armpits, squeeze them in. Take hold of the outer edges of the feet, orient the soles of the feet towards the sky, and then rock side to side in happy baby. Inner feet together, interlace the fingers, widen out through the knees, lengthen down through the low back. Reclined bound angle pose. Knees together, give yourself a big hug. Legs together, wrap your arms around the fronts of your legs. Squeeze the legs in, tilt your chin to your chest, forehead to or towards the knees, tailbone away from the floor. Round your back body so that less of your back body is on the floor as you squeeze in, squeeze in. I love you so much. And then let go. So consider how you're feeling in this moment. What shape would feel supportive? What shape would feel safe? Perhaps you have some clothing lying around and you might get cold, so you put on a pair of socks or something just to prepare for this experience. And that's part of the experience, isn't it? Is, preparing for the experience, planning. Okay, so when you are ready, when you have arrived in your shape, extend the legs, lengthen the tailbone, release the weight of the feet, and
set down, place down the legs on the earth. Unfurl the fingers, open the palms, tuck the shoulder blades gently. Release the arms. Set down the arms. Settle the arms into the earth. Tilt the chin towards the chest, lengthen along the back of the neck. Set down the skull. Release the brain. Let the head settle into the earth. Set down the pelvis. Set down the spine, the rib cage. Let the inner organs settle. As you're ready, you might begin to reanimate the physical body. Fingers and toes might wiggle. Wrists and ankles might circle. You might stretch the arms, stretch the legs. And when you're ready, bend the knees. Feet to the floor, left arm along the left ear, and roll onto your left side. Reconnect with breath. And moving from our corpse pose back into this fetal position. Let us rise back to a seated shape. Reorient with breath. Meet this moment, and if you'd like, bring your hands onto your heart. We'll close practice with a single sound of Om. Exhale the breath and inhale for Om. Thank you for your presence, your patience, your dedication to the practice. The light in me bows to the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you guys for being here. I felt like that was kind of a weird one. I went to some new places. So let me know how you felt, if there was anything you would like to see more of, or anything you'd like to see less of. I will be back with push-ups next week. I promise. So please reach out either via the Athens Public Access Gmail, Athens Public Access at Gmail email account, or you can call me or text me, or there's lots of ways to get in touch. So please do. I'd love to hear from you. Tell me what your hula hoop looks like. I still am waiting to hear why you think it's called rabbit pose. I don't know. I don't know why it's called rabbit pose, nor do I know why it's called camel pose. Tell me your thoughts. And I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to practicing with you in the computer or in person. I'm doing outdoor classes at near the Rubber Soul, formerly Rubber Soul, now Revolution Therapy and Yoga studio here in Athens, Georgia. You can go to the Revolution Therapy and Yoga website to book a outdoor class. I'm thinking about doing a indoor series, a very small group of students, maybe 3 students. And it would be like a 4-week series, and each week would maybe be a different focus. Like we'd do a flow week, and then we'd do a hips week, and maybe a back bends week, and a forward fold week. And it'd be nice to have like three students that were there for every session. So that's what I'm cooking up. I think would be a nice way to get back together indoors with masks. With the same group. So anyway, just to let you know what's on the horizon for Brownstone Yoga, please, if you are so compelled to make a donation, there's a donation option on my website, and don't fall for those gifts. Don't buy a gift. Okay, well, I will see you Wednesday evening or this time next week.